What a disaster. What a disaster for Donald Trump. What happened? Two things that I want to make mention of in this video. Number one is he did call Iranian officials and they confirmed with him something shocking, something that he feared the most. The other thing that I also want to talk about is, even though Donald Trump said the war ended today, quote unquote, the war ended today, but it is actually not the case, because now we have new report, new information coming right on my desk. But I just want to start off with this particular reporting. It basically says Trump claims that a great settlement, quote unquote, of the war with Iran has been reached. Okay, a great settlement has been reached. So he's or he should be very, very happy, right? But, well, wait a second. The settlement, what kind of settlement is that? Asserting that the country, quote, has agreed never to possess a nuclear weapon. Complete BS, and I'll tell you why. Trump mentions potential plans for a signing ceremony in Europe, and we know that. Trump's comments links the stock market's performance to the credibility of this deal. Trump is trying market manipulation. While Trump claims, quote, the war is over, spokespeople for the Iranian Foreign Ministry stated that Iran has not reached a final decision on the agreement. In fact, there is hardly any agreement coming from Iran at the moment, and I will share with you a breaking news that will probably shock you, again coming from Iran. What we know, Trump has condemned Iran after he said all of the things that he said on social media. Then Iran responded, and Trump is calling the response as very dishonest. Trump has condemned Iran after Iranian media reported extensively on terms of a peace deal being hammered out, calling Tehran. So again, he's lashing out again. We do not know what he will do next moment. Would he cancel everything? But that's what Iranian media reporting. The Iranian media reported extensively on terms of a peace deal being hammered out, calling Tehran officials, Donald Trump calling them dishonorable, quote unquote, and describing it as fake news. Again, Trump is absolutely losing it, calling it a fake news. Then we have Iran's foreign ministry says the main part of the text was almost finalized, okay, as you can see here, but the Americans were being greedy and raising new requests. Donald Trump wants to make sure that he looks strong in public eyes. So he's trying to get Iran to bend down a little bit, because they're not bending down at all. Iran's security and military circles centered on the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps had yet to sign off on Donald Trump's preliminary deal to wind down the war. If Iranian army, IRGC, they do not sign on this agreement, it will not be implemented by Iran. It is not, in other words, Iranian government who will implement the ceasefire, if there is one, if they want to end this war. It will be IRGC to end this war. Mediators said Friday a potentially significant stumbling block amid rising hopes of a breakthrough to end the 3.5-month conflict. The negotiations are aimed at securing a minimal memorandum of understanding, that would end the fighting and open the Strait of Hormuz, while setting the stage for later talks on other thorny issues. So they are not even talking. Iran is not even talking whatsoever, even though Trump is telling us, yeah, they're talking. The mediators who have been helping broker talks since a shaky ceasefire was implemented in April said there has been progress closing the gaps around opening the strait and addressing nuclear issues, and that Iran's top diplomats were on board. So all of this propaganda, they're coming from Donald Trump, from his administration. Iran is not confirming any single thing. Now, I said Iran has a nuclear weapon, And Donald Trump knows it, because you can see how he is changing his tone. The rhetoric has changed completely. Now, Iran has a nuclear weapon was mentioned by multiple sources. Larry Johnson, ex-veteran, or he's ex-military, he's a veteran. And then we also have Pepe Escobar. Both of them have confirmed that Masoud Pezeshkian told Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan Prime Minister, Masoud Pezeshkian is the president of Iran, told Sharif that we have a nuclear bomb and we will detonate it. Donald Trump couldn't believe it, because if Iran does have a nuclear weapon, that will be such an embarrassment for Donald Trump, because that's exactly what he wanted to avoid. That's why he said he went to war for. What he does, he wants to find out. But how can he do so? Because he cannot talk to the Iranian officials, because Iranian officials would not talk to Donald Trump at all. So what he does, he escalates the situation. So we have seen Apache helicopter coming under attack, and Donald Trump made the whole story up, saying that 2 pilots were rescued, this and that. And then he started bombing Iran left and right. And the reason for that, as what I understand, was because he wanted Iranian government to say something about the nuclear weapon. If they do have it and they make it public, then it will be game over for Donald Trump. Not just the war will end, but also his career will end. He will face such an humiliation. And then Iranian government official, they did talk to Donald Trump. It could be that he called them, or it could be they called him, either way. And they told him something that will shock you. So let's actually start with this one. Hayes, now would it surprise you to learn that it is not that is not true? A senior Iranian official tells MS Now Iran has not agreed to anything. State media means they are not agreeing to any negotiation. No deal is being made. State media reported the same thing. But oil prices fell and stocks rose on Trump's guarantees. That's pretty much exactly what happened. The nearly 40 previous times Donald Trump promised a peace deal was this close. And then, of course, MS Now, they have broadcasted this lie of Donald Trump. Take a listen at this.
Over the next few days, we'll probably have a signing maybe in Europe.
And has the Supreme Leader approved this deal, sir?
I understand the answer is yes.
I understand the answer is yes. Now, would it surprise you to learn that is not true? A senior Iranian official tells...
So again, Iran said, we do not know any deal that Donald Trump is talking about. Therefore, nothing has happened. Excuse me. Trump, I'm canceling tonight's strikes on Iran because we have agreed to a peace deal. Full announcement coming shortly. All BS. Iran's response. Trump has claimed 38 times recently that a deal is imminent. So until there is an official announcement by Iran, his claims are bogus and lies, of course. Again, denying everything Donald Trump said about the peace deal. Take a listen.
We just made a great settlement.
Okay, I don't think the audio is there, but it basically said that Trump has declared an official end to the war with Iran, announcing that a peace agreement will soon be signed in Europe. Okay, so that's again BS, same propaganda. So much has changed on Iran so quickly. Trump reportedly, now let's talk about the nuclear thing, right? How it all happened. Trump reportedly directly spoke with Iranian officials by phone. The last time this happened at the presidential level was with Obama in September of 2013. Why in the whole world Donald Trump will talk to Iranian officials directly? Unless it is so important for him. And it is so important because now we are dealing with Iran having a nuclear bomb. So Donald Trump wanted to confirm that directly from Iranian officials. That's the reason he called them. And this call happened from a US president since last time it happened in 2013. So after how many years? 13 years. After 13 years, United States president talked to Iranian officials. And that is because Iran now has a nuclear weapon. That's what I understand. And also Pepe Escobar, as I said, Larry Johnson, many other sources confirmed that yes, Iran does have a nuclear weapon. The reason Donald Trump called them is because he's going to give Iran everything. In exchange, Iran would not make it public knowledge that they have nuclear weapon, because if they do, it will be again a huge shame, a big embarrassment for Trump regime. That's not what he wants. In exchange of that, keeping it private and not sharing it with the public, he is gonna give Iran everything. He will unfreeze that $24 billion asset. He will give them complete control over Strait of Hormuz, and they will be able to collect tolls. He will never interfere with Iran's nuclear program ever again. And most importantly, he will never go back to war with Iran ever again, because you do not fight with a country that has nuclear weapon. Now, how did Iran have that nuclear weapon? Did they get it from Pakistan, or have they made it at home? That is something we do not know. But looks like it is possible Pakistan gave them, or it is also possible that they have one made domestically inside of Iran, because Masoud Pezeshkian, when he spoke to Shahbaz Sharif of Pakistan, Prime Minister there, he said, we will detonate one in Iran. Okay, that's what he said, according to so many reports. So it is possible they have made a nuclear weapon inside of the country. And if you take a look at Netanyahu, his rhetoric is changed. He said that even though we are not part of this party, of this peace deal that Trump is trying to achieve, but that doesn't mean that we disagree with the United States completely. The reason for that is because Trump told Bibi Netanyahu, look, Iran has a nuclear weapon. If you continue fighting them, and if it goes to that point where Iran is facing existential threat, they might use one on you first, and they can use also one on us. Who knows? So Netanyahu was like, he backed down a little bit. That's why he's saying now that we are not part of this. We are not in the party of this negotiation and all that. But Netanyahu said something along the line that, okay, if that's what Trump wants, then fine. It is also going to make easy for Trump, because now he can tell the neo-Nazi, the neocons in Washington, like the Zionists like Miriam Edelson, Paul Singer. He can also talk to Ted Cruz, the neocons, Lindsey Graham, and convince them very easily that, hey, look, Iran has a nuke. Do you want me to fight? Because that's what they want him to do, fight with Iran. And of course they will say no. If you fight, then Iran will bomb with a nuclear weapon and we all perish. There will be a World War III, who knows? And so it is going to actually make Trump's job much easier if Iran does have a nuclear weapon. But regardless of what it is, it's a complete disaster for the Trump administration, for the Trump regime. He was in this without any plan, without any preparation. He wanted Iran never have to have a nuclear weapon. But now, again, many sources are confirming Iran does have a nuclear weapon. And my personal observation, from what I understand, Iran does have. Otherwise, a sitting president after 13 years will not call Iranian officials for no reason. There must be something going on.